Hey there, peoples. Do the Dutch here. Decided to show you some more League of Legends stuff. So, yeah, more of it. I'm just gonna keep getting at it because, well, it's mostly what I've been playing. So, this time around, well, for starters, we're purple team. That's new. Most of my videos have been a blue team. This time purple. I'm Tarek. I am, of course, as expected, playing the support. The rest of our team comprises of a Jax jungler, Xin Zhao top lane, and we have our mid laner, who is LeBlanc, and we have my friend, Never Try Again, as Corky AD Carry. He normally never plays Corky, but we decided that before we started actually the game, during the champion selection, he would pick Tarek, and that I would have to pick an AD Carry, but though his bests are Vayne and Graves, and I have neither of those. So I gave him the list of 80 carries he had, and the only good one for him was Corky. Well, that's actually not true, but this is one. So I'm playing support, another role we haven't seen me playing. So their team is comprising, of course, of a Janna support and Ezreal, a Bullsfire Ezreal, no less. Fancy looking guy with his high tech light bulb, as far as I know, with ridiculous visual upgrades. That thing's just way too expensive for me, but I'm getting off track here. A Teemo mid lane, which is still weird. A Amumu jungler, who is not weird, and a Kale, which you barely ever see on top. At least I do. So, as you can expect, we're of course securing because, well, Jax needs the blue, and this is of course since the new implementation of the patch. This is with all the new items, the new jungle system. Damn it, I said it again. System. It's not a system. It's just the new jungle mechanics. So, as you can see, I've got my items here. Fairy Charm, 4 side wards. Small mistake there. Clicked a little too many times. Health Potion, and these 2 items, which I will get to back in a moment. So, as you can see, everybody's got its basic items. So, what's so special about these two? No, they're not so special, except the fact that you actually start from that you start with these items. They are special items that you get from the utility tree. Excuse me, a bit of a clock nose here. They're not that special, but they work. They have their uses, probably. It's still a bit of a debate to some of the more advanced players if these things really have a use. Probably some know how to use these properly. I'm not that good yet. Support is one of my better roles. I am not a good AD carry, that's why I'm playing support, because Never Try Again always plays support. He's not used to Corki, but he has him, so he's probably played a few games with it. So we got the bot lane, and what we're facing, of course, was expected, Ezreal and Janna, and it's kind of actually working in a disadvantage for us at the moment because their Ezreal plays very, very aggressive. He constantly keeps poking at us. Not what we're used to. It's not something anyone sees a lot. As you can see, he takes a lot of damage, and I need to keep that up. But unfortunately, the heal does have a long cooldown. This can be reduced. He does not pick up the kill here because I do push him away. Fortunately, it doesn't end well. So LeBlanc has the advantage here in every way because a lot more. She is an incredibly powerful burst damage dealer. She does a lot in a blink of an eye. Jax is what you can expect from a jungler, and Xin Zhao can be a very nasty top laner. So there we lost well, actually me, and there goes Corki. Flashed by first Corki and then Ezreal, and he picks up the kill on that. A very unfortunate thing. That skin. That skin is 20 euros. 20 euros. It's an overpriced reskin. It's as a certain video said, you can't polish a turd, yet this is what it is. It's a turd. It's a polished turd. But I'm getting off track here. So we're just moving back into our lanes. So Teemo thinks he can pick up a kill. He makes the big mistake of actually thinking he can. And he gets killed. LeBlanc's passive is not really the saving grace here. Teemo wastes his uses his flash to get out of the Jax stun. Xin Zhao is just owning everything on top lane. Well, at least when it comes to minions. We have yet to see if he does anything good against Kale. Though Kale has superior range, Xin Zhao can easily close that gap. So back in our lane, their team of course comprises of 2 range type. That doesn't necessarily mean that I'm in a disadvantage because Tarek is a much more durable support champion than most because a lot of his abilities work on this front. So his abilities is a heal that heals himself, but also the ally if he uses it on an ally, and it of course heals for 40% more if he uses it on himself, which would be logical. Instead of course the double, it's just 40%. So it's close enough, it just doesn't do it. So that's when I made a bit of an aggressive move. I do play a little bit more aggressive because, like I said, that's how you need to do this. I decided to go in, make sure that Ezreal stays away, do a lot of damage into thanks to Corki. Now he needs to go on the retreat. So Janet doesn't have a lot of things that can make the AD carry sustain. The only healing ability that actually Jenna has is her ultimate Monsoon, which she can't really use that much. It's a area of effect heal that heals a certain amount of, well, points per every second. But it's also a knockback for enemies, so it's kind of a nasty little thing. Jax, we still didn't really get the point to why Jax came to jungle, because there was no need for it, because we were pushing on their lane, so there was no reason for it. So you'll be seeing some of the new items. You can already see with Amumu, who has the Spirit Stone, which is one of the new more jungle items, which then can later be built into the new type of jungler item, which is one of 3. You have, so on that point I might get back on it, but on that, so like I said before, Xin Zhao has a advantage over Kayle, if you ask me. I don't know exactly. Xin Zhao's probably waiting for the perfect opportunity to strike at Kayle. And there, actually, I just missed. I do not pick up this kill, but I did pick up Ezreal. Amumu tries to grab me. I flashed just in case. I thought I needed to get away. Kayle wins this round, but don't worry. Xin Zhao will come back and kick her ass. LeBlanc has already got a, well, now a free 0. So she's pretty much owning the Teemo on mid lane, which is to be expected because Teemo isn't your most typical mid lane, especially. She wouldn't. Teemo doesn't stand a chance against LeBlanc on that front. Jax goes in, thinks he can have her. Unfortunately, Kayle did have her heal. Our Jax barely gets out of there with only a few points left. And then we're back to square one. So I'll just get this little discussion out with the jungling items. The Spirit Stone can be built into 3 items. By the time, of course, this video is late, so probably most junglers already know this. LeBlanc just picked up that kill on Kayle. This new item can be built into 3 types, each for the 3 types of junglers you can find. An ability power based, a tank based, or an offensive, or an attack damage based. They're all based on 3 of the well, known mobs in this group. We have the one based on the ancient golem, which is not actually mana and cooldown reduction. Well, not mana though, but it does give a lot of defensive bonuses. It has the one based on the Wraith over here and the Lizard Elder Lizard, which is actually based on. So the Wraith had a lot of spell vamp as far as I remember for an item of its, let's say, tier. And then the red, I'm just going to call it the red item, because that's basically, of course, what it was designed to do. Here we go for a little aggressive play. I activate my ultimate, which I will get to in a second. So the red Lizard Elder just simply grants this same effect as the red buff did. It does a small amount of damage over time plus a slow on it, so it gives this little bit of extra capability as a attack damage based. You do not need to rely anymore on this red buff, and you can grant it to the AD carry, which does have its advantages, because in mid and late games the jungler should not rely anymore on these buffs and should actually grant them to the laners, because that would give them the advantage. So let me get back to Taric for just a moment. His ability, of course, like I said, comprises of a heal. An ability when he has it is a aura that increases the armor of all allies in the area. As far as I know, let's just check it just in case. Yeah, additional armor, and then another additional and then another additional 10 armor for every for when he has it. So we actually didn't come out best in this game. Jax finally showed up to start ganking. Does it a little late though, but we kind of make it away. So his third ability is Dazzle, which is the stun. The stun is, you shouldn't put any more points in it when you just need to get it, and that's it. You should not put points in it to do damage. It doesn't increase the stun duration. It's basically only damage, and that is not what a support does, depending on what kind of support you are. Taric is a combination of a sort of, well, supportive type of support, which is all around keeping the AD carry alive with all kinds of stuff, and a more tanky style with his Shatter. So I always max out the heal self myself. Blah blah. Don't know what was coming over my mouth at that point. Place the ward just in case. And as you can, and then there is Taric's ultimate. Taric's ultimate causes that he gets increased attack damage and ability power, and half of that, of those stats increases, are actually granted to their allies. Now, this ability is quite spammable. It's just under 1 minute, 55 seconds, something about on level 1, which makes it an extremely, well, extreme. It makes it quite a spammable ability for an ultimate, that is. So you can use it a lot. I would recommend using it, of course, in team fights. Recommend using it even for tower pushes, getting Baron Nashor or the Dragon, as you saw. Use it to get your job done quicker, just in case. Now LeBlanc going again for a gank on our bot lane. I don't understand why they constantly do that. We do gain a lot of advantage this way. We can press more on the ground, but because of that, actually their own mid laner does the same thing. He actually would have been wiser to just continually push. So here comes in their jungler again. He does kill me. I'm not sure about Corki. LeBlanc dies here. I know that for a fact. That was an unfortunate thing. I survived. I didn't survive, actually. I don't know why I thought that. Our Corki does live. Barely, but he lives. He tries to do as much poking as he can, but it just isn't enough. Our Jax is... well, he wouldn't be able to do much. He would have to immediately jump into a stun. He just doesn't have what it takes to get the job done in that front. There's Gianna with the heal. Because of that, actually, Ezreal didn't get any of that healing done, so that was useless for him. Fortunate mushroom for Jax, because he also could have picked up that kill quite easily. So, why are support? So, as you can see, I've got not such a traditional build with one item that is one of the newer ones. So here's Mana Manipulator, which gives Corki a little bit more mana per second, which he could use because he actually loses a lot of mana for his abilities. There's only one that actually costs the least, which is Gatling Gun, which is this cold, well, a durable. I've actually already explained this when I did my Corki video with the Teemo Penta, so I'm just not gonna mention it anymore. So Xintia just picked up his third kill on Kale, I think. So he does a very good job up there. We don't have to worry much about here. LeBlanc is just totally owning mid lane. She's already up to a Blasting Wand and Sorcerer's Shoe, so she's got it pretty much covered. So so they weren't able to get that ward. Okay, fine, I got it out of the mouth. Took a bit. So let's see. So this new item is called Sightstone. It is a basically it's 4 wards as a single item, but there is a drawback to it. It does give you 100 bonus health. One slight drawback to it is that we do not get you can actually only place 2 at a time. If you place a third, the first one will disappear, so you do need to understand when to place it. So this is the point that we started to understand that Ezreal was a very aggressive type of AD carry. So we actually decided, I actually got tired with the constant defensive play. He was constantly pushing our backs against the wall. And I was actually kind of getting fed up with that. So I decided I'm going to play aggressive. I got a little bit of health. I've got health regeneration. I've got mana regeneration. I'm just going in there and I'm going to make sure that their Blondie stays away from our Corki. So Amumu coming in once again for a gank. We spot it. We actually retreated because we knew we couldn't hold that at the at their enemy turret because the support came back. So we just made a beeline back to our turret. LeBlanc recalling. So Xinjiao is holding top lane as expected. Everything is going pretty well. They're going for a push with 3 of them. This is actually showing that we were actually kind of getting the upper hand here. So, doesn't pick up the kill on Corki and me. We do get that Ezreal. I live. Fortunately, I think those two get. Amumu does pick up that kill on Corki. Fortunately, Jax does make the kills, makes another kill. The first one was a bit of a kill steal. The only reason that our Corki isn't doing that well was mostly because the Jax was actually kind of making kill steals here, which really didn't make us happy because he was kind of being a dick about it, as far as we know. He actually didn't have so much to say about it. We just kept it to ourselves because besides the kill stealing, we were pushing quite well. So, as you can see, this is actually the first character that you've probably seen with a skin, which is the Bloodstone Taric skin. Mostly because, well, to be honest, Taric looks kind of gay with any of his basic skin and the pink armor skin, which I think is. Don't get me wrong, I am not homophobic, but that skin is just. I cannot live with myself if I would ever buy that skin. I would literally hang myself up right here in my room if it were the case of having that skin. So that's why I went for a skin. He's not the only one with a skin, but he's one of the few because I don't really believe that skins are important. They're nice, but they're not important. And if something is not important to me, I do not see a reason. If it doesn't improve, it makes you look cool. Don't get me wrong, it's pretty cool having these different kind of skins, especially the ones with the special spell effects. Get pulled by a Mumu. We're realizing that he's a bit out of his league here. Take a bit of damage at the turret once again. We do get that turret, and then a Mumu has to run first for his, well, his life. So, I continually just stick around. You might be thinking that it would be wise to retreat. Considering what I actually can do as Taric, I am a very sustainable laner as Taric. I can play very well as him. He's one of my better supports. I don't have a lot of them. I play a few, some people would say, unconventional supports, such as Maokai. This is more of what the people that I play with in my ranked team say. Or at least one of them does, which is the kid, the 14-year-old. Things that, for some reason. And Maokai's a weird support. He's actually a very good one. We do get killed here. Take a look at this. Seriously, Timo just used the flash so he could pop an arrow in my ass to kill me. That is just pathetic if you ask me. He literally used the flash just to kill me. It's not like I'm worth that much. I've only got, what, 4 assists on my name. So, how do you build Taric? Well, building Taric is kind of depending on also what your AD carry wants. That's actually with the most supports. Don't know what Janna was trying to pull off here. She barely does any damage on that turret. The turret would kill her probably 2 times before she could wreck that turret. Even with a little bit of help with those creeps. Jax going in for the kill. Picks it up. But does need to understand to get the hell out of there now before. Unfortunately, this is, I think. Unfortunately, the damage from Ezreal's ultimate just wasn't enough to get our Jax. He lives, and LeBlanc owns Ezreal. Considering what LeBlanc has, that's not a surprise. She has a Rabidance. Kind of takes away the ultimate power that kind of makes her ultimate power, style LeBlanc. You do not want to mess with that woman. So, our Corki has what you can expect. He has a Bloodthirster, so like I said, you always build more on attack damage and the attack speed because of the true damage increase. So, Amumu is chilling out in the brush. He's very sad about it for some reason. Not very important why. He is a sad mummy after all, so We continually push and push and push. We actually pick up a few times with Dragon. We did once, now we're going to do it again. I'm, of course, going to tank. So, use Shatter to, of course... I don't know if the Shatter armor reduction actually works on the Dragon. It's not very important if it does or not. What is important, of course, is that these guys did fail to steal it from us. So, yeah, we do own... We do not own a Mumu. I get picked off first because I actually don't know. They really just didn't want the support around anymore. We do pick up that kill on Israel. Jax kills them, steals them both, if you ask me. You should try to hand over these kills to the AD carry. Fact is that she was just out of range. That special power article effect you saw there was one of the new support items, which is called Shard of True Ice, which you can see right here. If you want to see what it is, just pause the video. So we're just gonna take a little look around. So Amumu comes back after, of course, flashing away from Dragon because we still got it. So after walking into a mushroom, which is of course Teemo's most known thing for doing, which everybody hates because, especially a jungler hates it because he can never ever perform a gank on the lane that Teemo is at. So not sure what LeBlanc was doing here. Simply Xin Zhao was waiting for Kayle to just go beyond this little point, because as soon as Xin Zhao goes in there, he murders her. She makes the mistake of going into the brush. Bye-bye, Kayle. Anybody up for some angel wings? Fried angel wings somewhere? Yeah, that didn't go well for hers. I'm not sure if they pick her up. Don't know exactly what she was doing there. That wasn't I don't know if that much of a kill steal. That was between LeBlanc and Jax, not us. So we weren't really caring much about that. So we were simply just pushing on the lane again. We continually put pressure on these guys on most of the lanes. Xin Zhao just completely owns. You're going to see a nice little push from Xin Zhao and Jax later on. As you probably saw before the video started, Jax is actually a silver player, but to be honest, considering the amount of kill steals he makes, he's either very overconfident or he is very greedy to get some kills. Because, to be honest, I still think you're the jungler, and these kills over to the guys who need it. So, Kayle decided to occupy bot lane because, well, she's pretty much terrified as hell of Xin Zhao, considering that the Chinese dude with the ponytail kicked her ass 5 times now. You can't blame her. And she needs to rack up some levels. So Ezreal is actually running behind even lower, but that's actually not so surprising considering that he is in another lane with he's in a lane with another player. So I acted as bait here. We do get that kill on Ezreal thanks to a lucky missile of Corki. Teemo, on the other hand, does not get it. He uses the flash to get out of Jax's stun. Kayle makes a beeline back to her plateau. I stick around a little bit, I think. Thanks to this little item, I do get some health regen, and of course I can always use my heal on myself. I'd rather not, because I'm always afraid that... It always happens to me that when I use the ability that I think, oh, there's nobody in the area, I don't need it. So I don't use it, and then at that exact moment, a few moments after I just use that ability that I actually be using on my ally was necessary. So I did use it here. Actually, that was completely useless because what I just actually healed was, of course, eaten away by Kayle. Luckily, Brutalizer does kind of counteract this little side effect. I unfortunately run for a mushroom there, which made me a very unhappy man. So we see Jenna and Teemo here, and then a Moo in the back. We didn't know that, but we knew that Kayle was actually also pushing forward, so we just made a run for it. That is 4 against 1. They need 4 of their guys for us. In a way, you could be flattered. We just thought it was a bit pathetic. I unfortunately do get killed. Goodbye. I thought I could flash out of there. Unfortunately, Kayle's slow plus damage ability unfortunately gets me. So Corgi picks up a triple kill here. Unfortunately, he does get killed. Ezreal picks up another kill, but these things happen. So they are able to grab our bot lane turret, but considering that that is the first turret, but while we actually have been, while those 4 idiots were actually focusing on them, they just, the top lane just pushed all the way to the inhibitor and wrecked it. We were just like, it didn't matter. We just pushed their entire bot top lane. So it was good. This showed actually, the Xin Zhao and LeBlanc of this team are actually completely owning. So these two decided, let's go pick up that turret on mid lane as well. Thanks to the passive ability from Xin Zhao, he can heal himself. That's not his true passive. So he flashes out of there. Unfortunately, Ezreal decides to use his ulti. He just pick it up. As a shutdown, so he gets a little bit of extra gold. Not great, but hey, we were still in the advantage here. So I healed Jax on the way out of there. So we're actually coming close to the surrender. This was the first surrender video that I have. But considering what we did a reasonable job, I think. We kept ourselves mostly intact. We're ahead in a little bit more than 7k gold, and we're ahead with 10 kills. We just completely owned. The bot lane could have gone, well, it could have gone a whole lot worse. As you can see, I've bought an Aegis, which gives me even more durability for myself and my allies. Works very well, because this is actually kind of how you build Taric. He needs to be half tanky, half supportive. That's really the strong point of Taric. You build him in a sort of tanky style. Placed a ward there. There was a ward placed there. I placed the one there so we can see they're not trying to steal it. We pick it up pretty quickly, but you never know. These things can happen, which I will show in a future video for the enemy team. Good times. Those were some fun moments. But getting a little sidetracked here. So they just decided to, after we owned them here again, Amumu's ultimate was completely useless there. Jax flashes out of that. And so we continue pushing. So they just free mushrooms detonated, but still we have the upper hand. We keep pushing them back to just know they can't handle the amount. 4 votes here, and GG, we win. This was a surrender. It was a fantabulous game. So that's pretty much it for this video. So my name is Duo the Dutch, and I hope you keep watching for more of this stuff, because there definitely will be. Adios.